Okay, so the therapeutic goal is to create an environment, yeah, a therapeutic environment that will foster greater independence and integration in the client. What has to be integrated are all those parts of the self that has previously been judged as unacceptable, but it is still within the organismic experience of the individual. So we want the client to gain ownership of their own experience. And by ownership, they also uh, cultivate better acceptance of who they are becoming, who they have become, and what they are experiencing right now. In the therapeutic experience, we describe individuals as having increasingly actualized, having these characteristics. The first one is that they are open to experience. This means that um, they don't they have this kind of psychological flexibility where experiences do not easily disrupt their identities, but rather they acknowledge that experiences are experiences but not necessarily identities. Second is a trust in themselves. We want our clients to move from a point of not believing that what they're experiencing is good to a point where they could say to themselves that they're comfortable with whatever is arising in their organism. The third is an internal source of evaluation. Instead of externalizing molds or expectations, instead of the conditions of worth that were inherited from the parents, the person or the client is able to develop his own value system independent of the influence of parents. It could be a reflection of the parents, it could be not a reflection of the parents, but the point is that this is a personally developed, this is a personal choice of the client. And fourth is a willingness to continue growing. This means that a sustainable openness of what future experiences would and how they would replicate internally. So, encouraging these characteristics is one of the goals of client centered or person centered therapy. And this is both dependent the experience of on the experience during the therapy and the attitude of the counselor. Again, it is the counselor and his or her attitudes that are primary techniques in person-centered therapy. Hindi siya tulad nung uban nga mga therapies nga na kay mga ipabuhat sa imong client. You want the client to do something. But rather here you wish, or rather, you create an opportunity for the client to relate to you as freely as possible in the same way that you are relating as freely as possible to the client. So, what is the role of the therapists? Well, uh, this is not this therapy is not designed for techniques. Where, as I've been saying, you try to make the client to do something, but rather this is a a therapy that is rooted in relationship between the client and counselor. So the attitude of the therapist, more than anything else, such as the knowledge, skills, and techniques, facilitate client change. The role of the therapist is in fact to be without role, because to be with the role is to sort of like become pretentious and incongruent in the counseling. What we want is to be a person rather than a role. So, again, I'm repeating myself if I say that the therapist allows himself also to be vulnerable in the counseling relationship. Because, again, this is a modeling of how the client should treat himself. So, an overemphasis, according to Rogers, an overemphasis on professionalism is aimed at protecting therapists from over-involvement with clients, which often results to under-involvement. Sure, the ethics are important. Sure, the professional obligations are important. But in the PCT perspective, it is more important for the therapist to be genuine. That is, to be open about his own internal and experiences, emotions, thoughts, and others to the client in such a way that these are expressed in a manner that is empathic, well timed, and appropriate. Yeah. So what happens in the therapeutic is that there are three conditions that must be cultivated. Congruence, unconditional positive regard, and empathy are all necessary and sufficient. It is a relationship that is between equal, and authenticity by the therapy serves as a model of how to be a human being. Uh, in it's the client is struggling to reconcile different aspects, even contradicting aspects of himself. And if the therapist receives all these aspects without judgment, then it is like communicating to the client that these aspects are okay. There's nothing to be afraid of about yourself. There's nothing to deny about yourself. You can begin by accepting them. And once you begin accepting them, you have choices. You expand your ability to decide which and who you will be becoming in the future. So authenticity, however, as a word of caution in self-disclosure, is tempered by appropriateness. Dili ra pud magpataka og share. The therapy is about the client. So even if the therapist feels that he wants to say something, it should be tempered with the philosophy that it is a relationship that is for the client. And the therapist's role, while not completely dominant and active, is to make sure that the client's personhood takes center stage in the relationship. Therefore, timing and constructive therapeutic intent. Other counselors would make disclosures because they also want to feel approved and accepted by their clients. Here, the point of self-disclosure is to convey empathy, is to convey understanding of the situation, rather than to seek approval from the client. I like this Dino Comics or something. Yeah, one Dino is saying, "I'm sad," that's the other one is, "I'm saying I'm sorry and I'm here for you." That's the Dino is saying, "Aren't you going to tell me to cheer up? People always tell me to cheer up." Then no, I still like you when you're sad. Uh, so when the client offers something in PCT, something that might surprise us, agitate us, make us angry, well, those are knee-jerk reflexive na mga responses. We always maintain an attitude that we accept the client, we believe in the client's worthwhileness. There are times when the client might make mistakes and we might disagree with it. It might make us angry. It might uh, mahurot ato ang pasensya. But the core na gigikanan sa ato ang attitude is katong assumption nga sure masayop ka karon pero motuo ko nga kaya nimo ni siya ayohon. Dito mo gikan siya ba mao na siyang optimistic kaayo ang perception sa PCT towards the client. It is conveyed by withholding judgments even if we don't think that our or even if we don't think that the client's narrative aligns with our own personal values. But at the same time, we also try to maintain honesty about our own personhood. If there is a way that we could convey our own values, it might offer an alternative na perspective para sa ato ang client. Kaya iya lang man perspective iyahang makita. And you might want to be open about it so that he would also reflect on a different kind of perspective. Admittedly, it is not possible to offer unconditional positive regard at all times, but the attitude should be an expectation that the client is always moving for the better. The client is always moving for the good. Bisan nga dili nato dawat ang isulti niya kay dili dili tauyon ana motuot ang face ra ni siya kani kay naga part ra ni siya sa journey sa client ba nga maayo mapadong gyapon siya into growth and development. Siguro masayop siya karon pero we believe nga kaya niya to bawion. Kay kung assumption natong masayop siya karon then we have to recourse the client murag kita na mismo ang mag-impose atong judgment ay mali man na dili man na ing ana dapat ing ana na ang atong attitude, then it conveys that we don't believe that the client has the ability on his own to correct course. Oo. Oo. Kaya medyo laid back in a sense ang person-centered. Pero mas complex siya kay mm, ang openness nga kinahanglan nimo to practice person-centered, ang ability nimo nga i-suspensa nimo imong judgments, imong personal values, imong up to the time where the client is willing to listen. And maybe the time where you could use your own personal values as a counter example, no? It requires patience not only of the client but also with yourself. Mm-mm. So the therapeutic process is often described as emotionally focused empathy, which is another aspect of the three core conditions. How do we convey empathy? We convey it by paying attention to and valuing their experience. Usahay makita man na siya sa tong nonverbals, mugot na ana. Kung mabantayan nimo nga nagmugot ka, it's good siguro nga tas nakita nimo nga murag nag-react imong client sa imong pagmugot, i-handle na siya. I-immediacy na siya, address it. Ingnon na nimo daan nga basi na-notice nimo nga nagmugot ko. Honestly, medyo dili ko uyon sa katong ana. But I believe nga sa imong context, sa imong pananaw, kani ang imong ginatuhan. Ring ana ba? We validate what they're experiencing without suppressing it. So we process their experience both cognitively and bodily. We try to anchor them kung maingon sila they're sad, they're because of a problem in a relationship, for example, they are equally parts jealous, hateful, missing them, and angry at the same time. Pwede na to siya i-anchor. Asa man sa mga lawas ni mo na siya mabati. Ingana, because we want them to experience, to lean into the emotional moment by moment present experience. We also provide an alternative way of looking at the past. Maybe they looked at the past as something that is shameful, something that is embarrassing, something that they blame themselves for. Mm. So because they blame themselves for, they might try to suppress it. So by allowing them to be ready to open about it. Yeah. So it also increases their confidence in making choices and in pursuing a course of action. So accurate empathic understanding implies that we sense what the client is feeling without becoming lost in their feelings. Uh, Nagihapon siya yung idea nga sure matry na ko mo understand sa mga situation pero dili pud siya nga ma-overwhelm na ang therapist with because murag mas affected na siya sa situation sa iyahang client, particularly for tragic experiences, trauma, abuse, among others. It could be very overwhelming if we use a therapeutic na person-centered focus. So um, actually nindot na pud siya nga magamit ni therapist kay kung ma-overwhelm na siya, pwede niya i-admit sa iyang client nga na overwhelmed siya karon i-model niya kung unsaon niya pag-handle og overwhelming emotions nga na sing anto ang gibuhat sa ko ang therapist sing ato pud ang pwede na kubuhaton ning ano. So everything is a teaching moment. You can fold everything into the practice. So accurate empathy also means understanding the client both at the intellectual and the feeling level. It's not just we imagine what the client would be like in a particular scenario, but we also try to feel with if we were in the case of the client. So the ability of the therapist to build a positive connection is the determining factor of successful therapy. It is being with the client into the internal world of the client. Yeah. Kaya wala may mga techniques jud nga embedded in the person-centered therapy. Pwede gud ka mogamit og techniques from different approaches. So long as na-meet nimo tong necessary and sufficient conditions of congruence, unconditional positive regard, and empathy. Kung add on pa ka og mga techniques from other approaches, well and good so long as you are cultivating that kind of relationship with the client. So unsa man ang essential is the therapist presence. This means that he is attentive and immersed in the client and their concern. This could be expressed verbally and non-verbally. Kadtong ato ang 3 V's and 1 B. Yeah. In attending behavior before the start of this course. No, that those are important skills to uh, kaya oftentimes people just want to be listened to. The act of listening itself is therapeutic. Immediacy, as I told you, is when the counselor feels that they have to address something that is occurring in the counseling relationship. Halimbawa, katong dynamics nga nagmugot murag naka feel ang counselor og impatience kay ang istorya sa client kay tuyok-tuyok walay kapadulngan ana. So ma-detect sa client kay nag-ana na ang counselor niya ang body language niya kay closed na. So ma-notice sa client makita nimo ang mata sa imong client kay mag-scan sa imong body language tapos naay mga minute mga reactions. So you could immediacy there is when you open that up, explore that dynamics that's occurring right now the relationship. Moingon ang client nga sad kaayo siya kay nawala ng iyahang kuan, mama, inana, iyahang iyahang pamilya because of the pandemic. Tapos dili nimo makita sa iyang facial expression. So immediacy could be dealing with that, pointing out the incongruence between the bodily experience. Kasi pwede nimo nga, if you were feeling that kind of sadness karon, asa man nimo siya sa imong lawas mabati. So i-anchor siya sa present moment experience. So since therapist, presence is the main instrument, this is conveyed through listening skills. So such skills such as reflection of feeling and thought, paraphrasing, summarizing, and encouraging are all important. Dili lang siya sa person-centered therapy useful, but across all the other techniques and approaches. But it takes primary precedence diri sa person-centered. Kaya ang gusto man nimo i-convey sa imong presence that you are fully in the moment listening to the client because you're trying to engage empathy and show unconditional positive regard. So we will try to take examples of reflection, encouraging. Encouraging is the use of short responses, pwede verbal, pwede non-verbal, which intention is to allow the client to elaborate more on the topic. Pwedeng, mga non-verbal. Even silence could be an encourager. No? Ang paborito na kong encourager sa in-person ka, ano, hmm, with the head nodding. And mura go on. So the point of the encourager is to uh, allow the client to continue to give more information about what you're currently talking about. Paraphrasing, on the other hand, is a restatement of the client's narrative unsa iyahang nasulti. Ibalik nimo sa iyaha. Kaya ang gusto nimo ipakita is naminaw ka, mauna siya nga ginabalik nimo sa iyaha unsa iyang nasulti. And at the same time nangayo ka og additional detail o kung sakto bang imong pagsabot naging ana. So paraphrasing are often fed back to the client in a questioning voice. We will look at examples later. And naa siya stem, naa siya keywords, naa siya content, tapos naa siya checkout. So these are the basic structures of a paraphrase. And the point of the paraphrase is one, to convey that you have tried to understand and you have heard what the client is saying. Two is that you pick out at the important points. You're trying to empathize with the client. Three is you're asking for more information about what the client is saying. So uh, another skill is summarizing. Summarizing is done often at either the beginning of the session, in the middle of the session, or at the end of the session, and captures a lot of information na gisulti sa client. If it is used in the beginning of the session, it is often a summary of the previous na session. Capture nimo tong naistoryahan ninyo dito sa previous session. Dadon nimo karon. Kay base na pa siya mga ikadugang dito. If it's used in the middle of the session, it may be because you're trying to um, capture a lengthy na narrative, no? Daghan na kayo siyang nasulti. Ya, dili ka gusto nga mawala mo dito sa passing. So mag-summarize ka kay para ma-distill nimo tong mga important elements sa iyahang gisulti. If you're using summarizing at the end of the session, it is more to emphasize what are the takeaways, what are the important points that were covered across the session. The point of the summary is to help the clients feel heard and discover the interrelatedness of the uh, fragments of their story. No? Kay moadto na sila sa imo, mura na siya yarn nga nag ana-ana ang ilahang hunahuna. So, ang role usahay ni therapist is maghimay-himay adtong yarn aron pagbalik nimo sa iyaha nga ay oo bitaw no ingani di ay ang internal experience nako. They gain insight about their own experience in a more ordered and structured manner, which they would not have seen have they been talking to themselves only. Secondarily, the summary also provides a transition to the next topic. Uh, if say it is conducted at the end of the client, you might say that let me summarize ang ataang session ha. So far ang istorya na to ing aning ani ingon ka nga ing aning tapos na-realize na tong ing ani karon na to ang plano. Sa musunod na session nato ing ani na pud ato ang target. So na siya transition towards the next session. And then a checkout or a perception check is your attempt to get information or feedback from the client whether your understanding and empathy is correct. So it might be questions like, is that right? Did I hear you correctly? What might I have missed? And my favorite checkout is, what do you think about this? Did I get that right? Sakto ba akong pagsabot? So this provides an opportunity for the client to correct if you have misunderstood some segments of what the client is saying, or this also affirms that you're trying to understand the client's internal world. So without an occasional checkout, it is possible that the clients will be led away from what they really want to talk about. It's always a point of anchoring them back to the identified focus for the session. So encouragers are verbal or non-verbal himay-himayon na to are verbal or non-verbal expressions that you could use to prompt the client to continue talking, such as angry, last job, na mga words nga gi-interrogative form. Nasuko ka, ana. Or non-verbal like nodding, silence, or facial expression, smile could convey you want them to continue. So all of these encouragers are designed to elicit more response, more elaboration from the client. Specifically if dili pa siya complete. Mayroon siya angry. I was so mad. Unsa man ang natabo di ay? Or wala natabo. Dili lang man kami natabo jud no. Basin man gud na wala natabo mao nasuko siya. So i-balance jud na siya. Unsa man iyang gibuhat wala gibuhat nga nasuko ka. Unsa man ang natabo wala natabo nga nalipay ka ana. So that's looking at both sides para sila na bahala kung mag-elaborate sila. Paraphrasing is feeding back to your client what they have said, but you cover more than what is just being said. It is different from restatement because in restatement, you're just, it's just an encourager where you say back exactly what the words the client had said. Like you're angry, gikapoy na ka, di na ka gusto mag-skwela, unta na academic freeze, may ana. While a paraphrase is more complex because it adds your own interpretation or your own opinion about what the story is all about. It clarifies the confusing story. So parts of the paraphrase are four parts of a sentence stem. It often begins with, you're saying that sa madungog na ako, gisulti nimo na I hear you say, this is what I understood. So, kanang mga sentence stem. Then, keywords are cherry-picked na mga words that you think are important in your client's vocabulary. Pero pwede po mo siya i-let go. So, keywords from the client narrative such as, you're saying that you were worried about your role in your relationship. And then, what is unsaid? It is often a clue kung ang ginaistoryahan niya is ang worries niya uh, asagikan. Yan. If you have an opinion about where this is coming from or based sa iyang mga daghan na ng nasulti, you have an opinion about idea where this is coming from. You might add that uh, as a distillation of the essence of what the client has said. You are worried about your role in your relationship and this worry has caused you to be cold in your marriage. Then you use a checkout. Did I get that right? No. So that's paraphrasing. You practice this one. Dili lang siya useful in, di ba, attending skills man ang first nato. So encouraging and paraphrasing and summarizing are useful skills regardless of whether you are in counseling, industrial, forensic, or whatever. Or even in your friendly conversations if you practice these listening skills. Uh, when you're, the tendency is to always be thinking what we're going to say next. Well, silence could be useful to allow you to process ang inyong gusto isulti. Yeah. The same time, para mag-sink in po niya ang ani ang gisulti sa client. So there's no need to rush. Unya, kung masayop ko sa imong paraphrase, unya kay, person-centered man kayo, trying to be an imperfect person in the counseling relationship, and you can laugh at your own mistakes. Then you're teaching the client to laugh also at his or her own mistakes. So here's a sampler that I picked up. This is the case background of this is that the client is in a polyamorous relationship with his wife, where his wife has a boyfriend. He came to the session because of anxieties related to their setup, mainly insecurities about his place in the triangle. So they are already in 10 months na nga since na ay boyfriend ng iyahang wife, na siya consent. Yan na. So ingon siya, ah, monogamos siya, ang iyahang wife lang ang dili monogamos. Tapos ang boyfriend is also monogamous as far as I know. So this is how our session went last November 22. Yeah, we were talking about kumusta na siya. So he said good in some areas, not at all in others. Like you go to who you know for emotional needs, but you go to person you know less for other types of needs. We were talking about unsa ang role niya dito sa ilahang relationship, sa love triangle niya ba. So ang iyaha is siya daw ang emotional needs, tapos ang boyfriend daw ang physical needs. Yung ana. So, ang theory niya is sometimes na ay imbalance between ang need sa iyahang wife, dili niya mahatag tanan, maunang ang wife niya maadto dito sa iyahang boyfriend. Tapos napud siya needs na dili mahatag tanan sa iyahang wife, mao nga maadto pud siya dito sa boyfriend para mag triangle of balance sila ba. So this is what he said. I asked him, so not only do the response need proportion has to be balanced, but all three of you must have equal opportunities to respond to some of the remaining gaps in your relationship. I said this because I felt that nakasense man gud siya ang iyahang level of anxiety karon is naay gap ba sa iyahang mga needs kay paminaw niya basin dili sufficient iyahang contribution sa ilahang relationship ing ana. So is that something in line with your thoughts? That's a check out. This is a paraphrase that I did. What I had actually thought that what I had actually thought was that for those other needs, it would be easier to let him be the one to meet them. So nag-elaborate siya na um, there are needs that I could respond to. There are needs that the boyfriend could respond to. Yeah. And then um, I asked him, and when you had this insight, what changes did you notice about yourself, if any? Yeah. Okay, my point is, ang previous man gud namo na discussion, naga dili siya ma-anxious siya kay basin biyaan na siya completely. Karon na-realize niya nga naay matubag sa boyfriend, apoy matubag niya. So, since na siya realization nga ing ani, ang gusto nako nga ma-achieve niya is mahimo ni siyang action or unsa mas ma-aware siya sa kung unsang effect adto na understand or realization sa iya. So, ingon siya nga it helped, but na siya therapist nga lain. Made me anxious about other things. I don't know how I feel about them. So I encourage him to, would you like to talk more about these other things that made you anxious? When siya, yes, because I'm supposed to work on not being ashamed of them. Ako, nag-ingon ko og personal na opinion na I said na, I didn't get the sense that you were ashamed of your anxieties. What particular ways did you notice that you felt shame about these anxieties? And nag-clarify siya. I guess I mean I'm not supposed to be ashamed of these things, she said, that made me feel both shame and anxiety. So na-realize na ako nga, okay, napaday siya parts nga, naka-feel siya og shame and anxiety. So, oh, like there are things about your relationship that you felt ashamed and anxious about. So yes, would you like to give me some example of those things? She had me describe my marriage and then she said what it would be considered. And how did you describe her marriage to her, if I may ask? Diri na na-realize na ako sa point. Diri na point na-realize na ako puro question ako ang chat. So dili ko gusto mahimo kong NBI, medyo interrogation na. So nag-change ko og structure sa akong mga responses. Naingon siya nga that we are happily married and my wife has a boyfriend but I'm monogamous and some other things. And the shame there comes from, so this is an encourager, dili siya exactly question but more fill in the blanks. Para sumpayan niya. What she said, it sounded like to her. So, nag-paraphrase ko. Like, there was a part of you which feels like the relationship is not right or something. So, she said it sounded like we were non-monogamous, but there were other elements involved. But I clarified, but you said that it was only your wife who was non-monogamous while you are not. Is her boyfriend also non-monogamous? At this point, nag-ingon na siya nga, I want to tell you but I'm embarrassed. So, um, because I'm trying to demonstrate unconditional positive regard, I said nga, it might be helpful to tell me, but I also respect your pace. Instead nga, kutiun na ko, ipugos na ko nga mag-share siya, gipangutan na ako, what could make you less embarrassed to talk about it? So he answered na, to know you wouldn't judge me, and if you knew that I was questioning what you said and didn't necessarily believe it. So this is a request for unconditional positive regard here, that you won't judge me, that I will accept whatever it is nga iyahang i-offer. So I said the best way that I could think I could express to you that I won't judge you is by admitting that while I have my personal values, I try to keep them from coloring how I work or perceive my clients. Walay pug sanay. Let's deal with the latter part first. Dili sa nato tukion tong iyahang embarrassing part, if that's more comfortable to you. When you said questioning her, this is an encouragement, a restatement of her exact words. Are you referring to the therapist or your wife? Ingon siya, therapist. Okay, I'd say now that I won't judge you based on your opinion about your therapist. Kay, basin, I will judge him down because of his opinion about the therapist. Admittedly, we are also fallible and could make blunders in therapy. That could happen to me too. Would you be comfortable to tell me which part of your therapist said you didn't completely believe? It's a probe. So, I'm showing you this to demonstrate how unconditional positive regard, well, at least as best as I could. Siguro the unconditional positive regard there is that I admit that I might not agree kay na ako'y personal values. Pero I have a way of trying to keep it from coloring how I work or perceive. And at the same time, wala ko namugos nga isulti niya dayon. siya, kung gusto siya. I respect that he will eventually have the courage to, uh, he is the best decision maker of his life. So summarizing, yeah, falls along the same continuum as encouraging, restatement, and paraphrase. But sometimes it includes also feelings and emotions. It is longer and it encompasses a much wider breadth of this session. So summarizing, as I said, could be nako. Let me summarize our session first before we need kanang medyo nag-tone down ng discussion ba, medyo nagkahinay-hinay na ni insight. Pwede na ta. Okay, let me summarize my session, what we have talked about first. In the beginning, we talked about how you are worried about your role in this relationship. And then we have considered that you believe that your role is to provide the emotional needs of your wife while the boyfriend provides for the physical needs. And according to you, this insight has made you feel less anxious about your situation in the relationship. Looking forward, we have also considered how you felt some anxiety and shame about uh, your relationship in terms of how others might perceive your setup. However, you told me that once you have a good explanation of why you remain non-monogamous in this relationship while you monogamous in this relationship while your wife is non-monogamous, you would be more comfortable talking about it in with other people. Is that an accurate summary of what we have talked about so far? Taas na jud siya. So, highlight lang. Gipilian lang nako kung unsa akong i-appeal. So our goal in summarizing is to be fully with the client and see the world as he or she experiences it. But we also try to maintain a separate and appropriate boundary. So let me end this session with a quote from Rogers himself. One of the most satisfying experiences I know is just fully to appreciate an individual in the same way I appreciate a sunset. When I look at the sunset, I don't find myself soften the orange a little on the right hand corner and put a bit more purple in the cloud. I don't try to control the sunset, much like we don't try to control our clients. I watch it with awe as it unfolds. It is this receptive, open attitude which is necessary to truly perceive something as it is. So for questions and points of clarification, I'll see them in Canvas. Thank you, class.